Okay, so in this video I'll give you the general instructions for doing your experiments to fulfill the requirements for criterion B and C. As you know, criterion B is about inquiring and designing skills, and criterion C is about analyzing and evaluating the data which you collect while doing the experiments. So what we'll follow is that during the semester I will explain how to perform a number of experiments. For example, in first semester we are dealing with sound and light, so I'll give you instructions on how to perform different experiments which will explore sound and light. So you are expected to understand all of them. So whatever instructions I give, you are expected to understand all of them. So they will be tested in the written exams like your FA and end semester exams. And you will be allotted one experiment as compulsory in each semester, which will be evaluated for 8 points for criteria B and again 8 points for criteria C. So one more experiment you have to perform, since you know that each criteria has to be evaluated twice in a semester. So this second experiment you have a choice. So from the list of experiments which I have explained to you, you can pick one more experiment and do it. So that will be evaluated for 8 points. In case you want to do all the experiments, you can do it. So I will pick the best experiment which you have done and grade you on that. So all your work based on your experiments, you have to record it in either the Google Word document and the Google Excel spreadsheet, which has been provided for you in the student report forms. So the spreadsheet will be used for entering your observation tables, calculations and graphs for each experiment. So the spreadsheet can have many sheets. So each sheet will be reserved for one experiment. So you have to name the sheet as the experiment number. And the Word document will have the complete report. So for example, you have some tables, graphs in the spreadsheet. You have to copy and paste it and put it in the proper format in the Word document, so that the Word document will have the final project report in a neat format. Okay, so now let's move on to the first experiment, which I have called experiment 00, because it's not a real complete experiment, it's just to get you started into the subject. So to go to that first experiment, you know how to go to student forms and reports. In that, go to click on sound experiments database. It will take you to a new link. So it will open a spreadsheet. Which has many tabs. So first go to contents tab to see what are all the experiments which have been allotted. So this again has the instructions in the first cell. Now the experiment number 0 is, does peppy music decrease the average running time? So the materials required are a student volunteer, which will be you, a stopwatch. The lab has 3 stopwatches. You can either borrow that or you can use your wristwatches, which come with stopwatch feature. And you need a running track of known distance. So if you want to do the experiment at home, the only difficulty is whatever running track you are using, you should know how long it is, like what is the distance of that track, because then it will be easy to measure the average speed. So in school we have the advantage that we have the cricket ground, which has a white tape, that circular track with a white tape. You are expected to run just outside that white tape. So that distance is actually 200 meters. So we will be knowing the distance if you run at school. Okay, so experiment 0, so you will see the tab which is called experiment 0. So click on that. So like this, for every experiment there will be a tab. So right now I have added till 6 experiments based on sound itself. So you are expected to explore each of these and understand the tables. So for example, experiment 00 is about exploring the effect of music on running time. Experiment 1 is to measure the time period and frequency of sound waves of different frequencies. Experiment 2 is about measuring the investigating the frequency of sound of a flute. So I have allotted many experiments for you based on musical instruments of your choice. So the same procedure which I have followed here you can follow for any other musical instrument like piano, etc. Experiment 3 is about how does the speed of sound vary with the sound wave. So again you have to use the FET simulation. So what I have done is I have drawn the observation table for you and also showed you how to process the raw data which you collect. Raw data is the measurements you actually make. So after you make the measurements you need to do some calculations and process the data. So that is what is tested in the criteria C, processing and evaluating. So how to do that I am demonstrating. Experiment 4 is how does the speed of sound vary with amplitude. Like that, so many experiments are there. Okay, now coming back to experiment 0. So what you have to do is first copy this spreadsheet by clicking on this top left cell. Click on this, so all the cells will be selected. Now press the keys control button and C button in your keyboard. So control C when you do, all the cells are copied. Now go back to student forms, go to your experiment. For example, let us say let us say that you are Ziv or Yuvraj. Okay, so you go to the link to spreadsheet. So go to link to spreadsheet and click on that link. It will take you to your allotted spreadsheet. And okay, already Yuvraj has copy pasted the thing. So you just click again here and then do Control V. So that will paste whatever you had copied earlier and it will come like this. So now let's just do a test on Yuvraj's sheet itself. So now you need to decide what should be the value of n. So are you going to run 1 round of the cricket ground or 2 rounds or 3 rounds? So I suggest you run 1 round because it will be very tiring to run 2 or 3 rounds. So make n equal to 1 and student name no need to write since already your spreadsheet is named after you. So the plan is you will do this experiment over 10 days, 10 consecutive days. So on the first day, so suppose it's Monday, you run without music 1 round. Now it's very important to run at a constant speed throughout the round. So don't start sprinting first and then become tired and then walk few meters and then stop for some time to take rest and then run. So that will spoil the whole measurement. So you should run at a speed which is comfortable for you, which you can maintain throughout the round. So run at that speed without changing your speed throughout till you reach the finishing line and measure the time and record it here. So let us say for running 1 round you took 60 seconds. So type it here. So you are supposed to note down the time and mention it in 60 seconds. Accuracy of point like milliseconds etc. is of not much use, because anyway in your starting and stopping and the actual distance you ran would vary by a few meters. So just an accuracy up to seconds is enough. Round off your answer to seconds. So on second day Just scroll to the right. So for day 2, what you will do is you will run with music. So here it's written running time for n rounds with music. So again you will run one round of the same cricket ground, same circular track, but now you will wear the headphones and you will listen to the peppy music. So select some music which has a very fast beat, so that the fast beat will make you to run faster. Okay, so listening to the music, we expect that you will not feel so tired, you will be feeling fresh, and your mind will be away from the boring activity of running, so you'll be enjoying yourself while running, so it will automatically increase your average speed. So again you should try to run at a constant speed which you can maintain throughout your round. So again note down the time, and then on third day come back to the running without music, and enter the time here. Like that you keep alternating and enter all the values for the 10 days in this spreadsheet. So then, so let's just enter some trial value. 60, let us say on this day you took 65, on this day you took 55, on this day you took 64, on this ninth day you took 57. So now you need to calculate what is the mean time without music, like on average how much time you took to complete one round of the cricket ground without music. So you have to enter the formula. So type equal to, and to find average you can use the ready-made function in spreadsheet called average. So if you type AVE, this average function will pop out. So click on that and then select the cells which you need to average out. So from this cell to this cell, you have to press the first cell, then press shift key in your keyboard, and while keeping the shift key pressed, press the last cell, so the entire range of cells will get selected, and then press enter key, so it will automatically calculate the average. Now since the same format is followed in the other for the case where you are recording the time taken with music, just copy and paste this cell, the formula will get copy pasted. So Control C, so that formula is selected now, and paste it here. Control V. Yeah, right now it gives an error message because there is no data here. So let's put some sample data here. Let us say it is 56, 55, 50, 57, 58. So now you can see it calculated the average as 55.2. So next we need to find out what is the percentage decrease in running time due to music, because if you simply wanted to compare the actual number of seconds which decreased, it would vary from person to person depending on who is able to run very fast and who is running very slowly. So somebody who is taking 10 minutes to finish one round, he can easily decrease his running time by some even 20 seconds if he decides. But somebody who is already running at a very high speed, he can't decrease his running time by much. So the actual number of seconds you can't really compare. So a better measure to compare with students is calculate the percentage decrease in running time. So that is calculated as follows. Let me explain the formula. So the percentage decrease in running time is given by the original time without music, which will be the longer duration, minus the new time with music, the whole thing divided by the original time without music. This whole thing, this whole fraction multiplied by 100. So this fraction tells you what fraction of the original running time without music, okay, is the decrease. For example, you took say 60 seconds without music and 50 seconds with music, so the decrease would give you 10 seconds. So the decrease in running time is 10 seconds. But how significant is this 10 seconds? So you have to compare it with the original time. The original time was 60 seconds. So it's 1/6 of the original time. So in percentage terms, it is 10/60 into 100. Which is equal to 16.66%. Okay. So let's type that formula here. So equal to, you need to find the original time, right? So let's select that cell. So this is the mean of the time without music, this minus the new mean, this cell. So put them in bracket and divide it by the original time. So select that cell, then again put this whole thing in bracket and multiply it by 100 and press enter. So now you got the percentage decrease in running time. So it's 8.3%. So this will complete your experiment. So once all the students do this, we will then compare the results and see whether, like, we'll find out whether all the students have some similar percentage decrease in running time or not. If for some people there is no percentage decrease, there is percentage increase, this answer will turn out to be negative. So let's find out what is the result.